What's going on, guys? Ryan here with another episode this week. So today what we're going to be talking about is my 2004 Mazda Rx8. It's been in storage for about year and a half now. I haven't started it, so I've been neglecting it. So what we're going to do is drain the fuel. I'll be showing you how to do that. There's no specific drain plug on this, so I'm going to have to jump the fuel pump and drain the gas by the brake booster there. We'll get some fresh fuel in her, and hopefully it'll start and be as reliable as it normally is. So here it is. I've been neglecting it. I just put it in storage about maybe a year and a half ago. Just let it sit here, and had to go to grad school, so the gas is probably 2 years old in there right now. So I'm gonna try to purge the lines out, everything like that, put some fresh fuel in it, and hopefully it starts up. It's usually been pretty reliable for me. Like I said, it has 36,000 miles on it. It's the original engine. Had it for maybe 9 or 10 years now, probably 10 years. So I can't get rid of it. Has the original Mazda Speed body kit on it. Had the front bumper that came from Japan, everything that I had to wait for. Other than that, it's pretty stock. Just a cold air intake. It is, of course, it's a 6-speed, 6-port RX8. Just painted the wheels, sort of average things. I have a catless mid pipe on it. I believe it's the Moss Sport, maybe. Dual resonated. It's been so long since I put it on there. And then I have the agency power catback, so it does smell and everything, but other than that, kind of glad I did that when I did. I'm in Ohio here, so I don't have any emission rules or regulations, so it's pretty nice just to put that mid pipe on it. And I think overall this kind of helped the life of the engine along with premixing. So I premix every other fill up. Let's start getting into it of how to drain the fuel that's in there now. Sorry, it's so foggy right now. So it looks like we have about 1/8 of a tank, maybe a little bit over that we have to drain. I've probably only put about 150 miles on it in the past 2.5 years, so I've not had to fill up lately or anything like that, and didn't want to start it since it's been so long, just in case that there might be some gunk built up, or the fuel might have gone bad. So what we first want to do is locate the brake booster and look down on the left hand side of it. I'm gonna have to take this catch can out that I installed, so I have an extra step here, but down there, which I'll show you once I remove everything, is where we're gonna be putting a 3/8 inch hose, and we'll be connecting it and putting that hose into something that catches the old gas. Okay, now that the catch can is removed, what we're after is that red hose right here. So we are going to have to disconnect that. The trick to remove this fuel line here is to first push down on the hose, then use your finger to open this clamp up, and while you hold that open, you pull everything up, and then it'll pop out. So to reiterate that, you push it down, then get your finger, open this up, this clip here, which the gas is coming out, and then you pull it out like that. Also, this was left over when I pulled that up. You want to make sure to put that back into this red hose. So don't freak out if this comes out. All you have to do is it goes in like this. So you push this, you line up these tabs here. There's two little tabs, one on top, one on bottom. Push it straight in, and then you're good to go. Okay guys, so I got this 3/8 inch line hooked up. It was a little bit big, but if you fit the hose over the, it's like a little ridge here, you push it over that, and then you put a zip tie underneath, it should be fine. Wouldn't leak or anything after that, but you do have to push it on over and use a little bit of force. Just be careful of the fuel line, not to break any of that. So I have the hose routed all the way to my catch can here. And then next, what you want to do is go into the fuse panel here. There's a tab right here and a tab right there. Push them both in, lift it off. And this is the kind of area that we want to be working in, that we're going to use to jump, meaning connect two of these terminals at the same time together. And that's going to kick the fuel pump to start to work, to cycle the fuel. So what we're going to do is you just use a screwdriver. If you can see the male connectors in there. So we're going to jump those two connectors together with a screwdriver tip, and then it should start the flow of the fuel and it'll start draining through the line. Okay, so to do this, we want to hop in the car first, turn the ignition on to the accessory position, not obviously fully trying to crank over the car, and then we'll head back under the engine bay and jump it. So 1, 2 clicks, second click, leave it on like this. Head back to the engine bay. Make sure your routing's still fine. Make sure nothing's fell out of there, because gas will start to flow now. Grab your screwdriver and just push it between these two connectors. And you can see that it's starting to flow down into the gas. You could hear the pump start to kick on every time you jump it. So I'm holding it on right now and it's still flowing. When I let it off, that's when it stops. You don't want to burn your pump out either. So, do it intermittently, maybe every 20 seconds, leave it on. And you can see this gas. Well, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it isn't the color that you want, normal fuel to be. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll give you kind of a look after I'm done with it, but I'm just going to keep pumping it, checking the level. This should drain a lot of the gas that the fuel pump can get to. Rx8s, I've heard you can't siphon gas. You have to have some pressure built up in the system, and it's too hard to get in that flap, that protective flap of when you're trying to get the hose down, and I don't want to suck fuel through my mouth to get that started either. This is just way easier just to disconnect these two, just jump this. And I'm actually surprised, so I didn't do jump my battery whatsoever. I have that quick disconnect on it, and literally it's been over a year since I've had to jump this battery at all. So that quick disconnect really works. Definitely recommend that. You just spin it, and it breaks the terminal contacts. You can hear it's getting empty now. So fuel pump's making a different sound. So that's when you know you might be starting to get low in fuel. So I was at quarter of a tank, or I mean, sorry, excuse me, an eighth of a tank, and just doing that for 3 or 4 minutes, it's already drained it. So definitely really fast. I'll do it a couple more times. Go to the gas station, get some 93 gallon of it, dump it in, and see if it'll start. So now I dumped some 93 in, 2.3 gallons to be exact. I then hooked up the line again, jumped it a couple more times to get the fuel pump, and until it started to get clear. It looks pretty clear now. The fuel should be good to go. This should be mostly fresh gas coming through now. There might be some residual left over, but 90% of it is going to be the new fresh gas that I just pumped couple minutes ago. So now I'm gonna connect this back up. So we'll just all you have to do to connect the line back up, you just push it straight down until it clicks, and then we'll check for leaks and see if we can start it up. All right, so everything should be good. Everything's connected back up. Like I said, just click that fuel line back in place. Just push it straight down. Once you hear it click, that's when you know it's sealed. And I am going to be putting a charge on this battery just in case, because I really don't want to do a deflood procedure if it happens to stop cranking. First time in a 1.5 years here, so let's see. Whoa, that didn't go as planned. Kind of my next thoughts are I'm going to pull the plugs. I am getting fuel. I pulled the fuel line back off, cranked it over. It is shooting fuel out, so I know that there is obviously getting fuel when I turn the ignition on. So I'm going to pull the plugs, which are located in the driver's side wheelhouse, and kind of see what they look like. I haven't replaced them, I don't know, 5-6 years, so that might be the cause of it. I'm sure it's starting to flood right now, so hopefully I don't have to do a deflood procedure, but this is quickly turning into something a little bit more fun than I was imagining. So alright guys, so unfortunately that's going to be it for this video. Next video I'm going to be focusing on trying to actually get this thing running. So if you found something helpful with this video on how to drain the fuel, give me a like please, or comment below. Hopefully next week we can get this thing running. I have a set of spark plugs on the way, as well as wires. So I'll pull the plugs, see what they look like, and pull the wires, replace them, and then we can see if we can crank this up. I also think I'm gonna do put a jump on the battery, just because I think it was a little bit weak too, which caused the flooding initially. So I'll put a jump start on that as well with an actual car this time, and see if it'll turn over after I replace everything. So if you want to see that, please stay tuned for next video. And as always, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Have a good rest of your week. Brother, it's caught in the crossfire.